How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Doing well. Sorry, I think the first time I accidentally hit exit instead of turning my webcam on. So
Okay. So, firstly, thank you for accepting my invitation and accepting to be on my show.
no problem. Thank you for the opportunity.
So, I've gone through a profile and I came to know that you are a software developer, front-end developer. So, I thought to tell about you and your work and some of the topics that I have. So, I want to ask them about it and I want to tell about it through my medium to my audience.
Okay, that
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. So, can you please introduce yourself?
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Natasha. I'm currently learning front end development. I was a career switcher. I've been a counselor for the past 11 years. I got to a point where I felt like I've accomplished everything in that field that I wanted to. Little backstory, my original major in college was actually computer science, but just life happened. So I ended up switching my major to psychology. So I always felt like I had unfinished business with technology. So I just got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm 33 years old. Like, it's time to do what I really want to do. So I made the decision to leave my previous position and dedicate the rest of my time full time to learning how to code. Well, continue learning how to code just because I've started to learn, then I would quit, start to learn, quit. You know how it goes. So yeah, so that's
Wow.
where I'm at right now.
Nice. So, you switched your career from.
Yes, I have a bachelor's degree in psychology. So I was a rehabilitation counselor. And it's just when I changed my major, I had interest in it just because I was already in the field. But after a while, I started, I guess, to fall out of love with it. You know, when you're young, you choose your major based on what you like when you're 18, 19 years old. But like as you get older, you may not, learn that you like that as much the older that you get. So I just wanted more of a challenge, and I just felt like I wasn't getting that. So that's why I got back into tech.
So, how is the change? So, you came from psychology background and you are into tech. So, what is the difference that you are observing and that you observe?
Um, with technology, I guess the main difference is it's more complicated. Um, Psychology is almost like not necessarily one size fits all, but like when you have a problem, not only can give the people the same advice, but um, hold on, I'm trying to think. How can I word this? I guess with technology, there's like a definite answer. So like you have to say you have an algorithm that you're working on, you have to have your code just right for all your tests to pass. But with psychology, like you don't necessarily have to have the right answer. It's just if it works, it works. If that makes does that make any sense? Sorry, that question kind of threw me off guard. But yeah, but I'm actually seeing a lot of similarities. Like, of course, as a counselor, you're problem solving. It's just a different type of problem. This time, you're solving problems with technology. Before, I was solving problems with advice, programs, encouragement, affirmations, that kind of thing.
I'm doing what you did. I mean, in a reverse way. So, I'm a software engineer. I did masters in software engineering and I have a bachelor's degree in computer science and engineering.
Hmm.
And through this video series, I started understanding the psychology of the people who are into different professions and who came from different backgrounds, having different experiences, and who are from different countries, trying to
Hmm.
understand the human psychology. I'm not technically, I have a degree in psychology, but I have this passion. This What I understood is before creating any application on or a software or web application, anything that is there in the internet,
Hmm.
human being understood the human psychology. Then he created computers and he created this coding and softwares, how it runs and how it will be useful and how it connects human beings.
Hmm.
So then I thought that it is very important for me to understand the human psychology before understanding the computer psychology. Then I entered into this, and it is making me feel comfortable. But you came in a reverse way. I think it will be it will be very easy for you to understand because the way you look at the coding and all. I think you have different vocabulary. You will see different words, but uh, I think you will understand the relationship between one computer and another computer, and how and the benefit of the software. I think that is easy. I believe that,
Hmm.
but I don't know how you feel.
I believe it too. I think, I guess maybe some people who only have a technical side, they may see the world in literally just black and white. It's either one way or it's the other. But coming from a psychology background, I tend to look at the overall picture and the abstract. So I think, like, I don't know, I always, whatever situation, I just look at it from all sides.
Yeah,
So,
true. So, and also you're a former counselor. So, what was it? And you said you was into that for 11 years.
mhm.
Yeah, tell me more about it.
So I actually started as a corrections officer, and then I really wasn't a fan of that just because of work schedule and all that. But I started to notice like there's counselors in corrections, so I was like, well, I could do that. And so that actually, because I took like a 2 year break from school when my original major was computer science. I went to community college. I had no idea what I wanted to major in. I probably changed my major like 10 times. And then with me getting my foot in the door in corrections, I saw like other things that you can do besides being an officer. One of them was a counselor. So I just did some research and I was like, all right, all you have to do is have a bachelor's in psychology. So I looked into it. I found an online school that'll work with my work schedule. And that's how I got into it. And I just kind of worked my way up. But with my job, I would do psychoeducational groups like substance abuse, thinking for a change, anger management. So it's just teaching people skills um, to solve their problems. You know, thinking like, say you grew up doing things one way just because that's all that you know. It's showing people the benefits of changing your thinking because that leads to change behavior. So, yeah, that's basically what I was doing.
So, I'm sure in this 11 years, you might have communicated and understood the emotional states of different people and tried to
Oh,
give
for sure.
solution for that, right? So, how was that experience?
You definitely meet people from all walks of life, like young, old, different backgrounds, different nationalities, and just seeing how, some people say you're a creature of your environment, or you're not a creature, you're a product of your environment. So just seeing like how the way you grew up, the things that you saw, the things that you witnessed, how that affects the choices that you decide to make later in life, and just seeing like how people can start out, I guess, with common ground, the innocence of a child, but then based on what you experience in your life, that can make you go on a completely different track than someone else. So it's just interesting just to see like how that impacted so many other people's lives and like the choices they decided to make, and like ultimately if they ended up doing something good, they ended up doing something bad.
So, how you managed your emotional states, and how you managed your emotions by seeing too many people's emotions who are from different backgrounds, but at the end of the day everybody is a human being, have the same
Hmm.
emotions. So how you used to handle them?
So one thing you have to realize, like, they've already been judged literally by the judge who sent them. I worked in a prison, I guess, to make things make more sense. So like for as a staff member, like that wasn't your job to judge them. It's they're all people. Like they may have made different decisions, but at the end of the day, like we all have the same, same characteristics and everything. They're just one bad decision more than you, then put them in that predicament. You know what I'm saying? So just to talk to them as people, just because I feel like you can learn from everyone, no matter where they're at, who they're at, where they're from. Like there's a lesson in everything. So we just literally just have regular conversations with them. And like the more you're able to build a rapport, the more you can help them. And like they help you, you help them, kind of thing. So
Great. And also you said you are currently learning to code full time.
yes.
So what is that?
So I'm currently following the Odin project. It's a full stack JavaScript development curriculum. It's free online. I actually stumbled upon it on accident. Of course, everyone's heard of Free Code Camp, so I started doing that. But it's just my learning style. It didn't really work for me. So finding the Odin project was a whole lot better, just because like they have articles, videos that they tell you to read to prepare for the lessons, and then their projects, there's no posted solution to it. It's just you have to figure it out yourself. They kind of give you a starting point, and it just forces you to learn to problem solve, learn to use Stack Overflow, Google, which is more like a direct reflection of what you would be doing in that, in the actual workplace. So, but yeah, but right now I'm currently learning JavaScript. I've done HTML5, CSS3, a little bit of Sass, and now I'm on JavaScript. So.
So have you done any project?
Yes. With the Odin project, every like 2 or 3 lessons, there's a course project. So we had to recreate the Google homepage. That was like our very first lesson. Rock, paper, scissors game, calculator, an Etch a Sketch desktop version. I did a book library a couple days ago, which is kind of like a to-do list. Now I'm working on a tic-tac-toe game. And then I am actually have a side project. One of my friends has a mental health private practice. So she asked me to make a website for her. And at the time when I agreed, I didn't even know how to make a website yet. So like it's kind of cool, like just seeing that come into fruition. Like as I learn something, I apply it to the website. So that's cool.
So how is HTML5 and CSS and JavaScript? Because you are new to this.
Um, so I'm doing the 100 Days of the Code challenge, but this isn't actually my first rodeo with it. Um, in college, we learned Visual Basic, C++, JavaScript, and then once I'd already graduated, I kind of tinkered with HTML and CSS just a little bit, but I just never took it very far. So this time around, it was kind of like a refresher, but like now I've past where the furthest I've ever made it before in the past. So but it's interesting. I'm an artsy person, so like I really enjoy CSS and JavaScript making things interactive just because I can see like instant results opposed to just using like a command line language where all you can see is just text. So, but it's pretty interesting.
So your profession before this was completely into understanding human emotions and understanding the feelings and thoughts of human beings. It was
Mm-hmm.
completely into emotion. Now you are into a subject which is completely logic. So how do you differentiate both? So how and what made you to become logical now? Because everything that you see in the computer, the computer is a machine which don't have any emotions. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to become like very particular when you're putting a code. You have to put exactly what
Right.
it responds. But when you're handling with human beings, you are caring, but but and you are caring, and you have sometimes you may not say what while communicating with human beings is it is different, and communicating with computer is different. You have to know computer language. So
Mm-hmm.
exact words, exact vocabulary, exact code that you have to use. So how this communicating with different things in the world is uh, what you are, how you are doing this.
To be honest, it's actually easier. Um, Funny story, like I used to always take job like inventories just to see like based on that the way you answer the questions what you should do, and it will always tell me either like computer programmer or counselor. It would be one or the other, which are two completely opposite sides of the spectrum. And so like I said, my original major was actually computer science, so I kind of started out in the logical stance and then somehow I made my way into psychology. So it's
Okay.
like I've always been like a realist. I see things in black and white, but I also see things in abstract. So
Okay.
I don't know, I kind of see both sides of the fence. So for me, I guess the longer I was in my field, the more I was more interested in the logic than just seeing things from all different sides. So I guess now that I'm back into tech, I feel more comfortable because I guess it more aligns with what I think. I'm
Okay.
definitely adaptable, so I can work in both environments, but I think I definitely enjoy this more.
Okay. So you was into tech before, then you came to psychology, and then you came to tech, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay, I got you.
yes.
So you're following Odin projects, full stack Java script curriculum along with a few Udemy courses. So what are the courses that you took in Udemy?
I took HTML and CSS projects course by John Smilga. I'm also taking his JavaScript tutorial and projects course as well. And then I have another JavaScript course by I cannot pronounce his last name, but he goes by Academind on YouTube. His is more in depth. It's like the complete beginner to mastery or beginner to advanced course. So he goes into like the very little details, like why this is, how this works. So it's just good just because I don't learn by just one way. So if I only use the Odin project, I probably wouldn't be as successful. So like if there's a topic I don't understand and the resources that they refer us to don't really work for me, then I go back to my Udemy course for like a video explanation because I have to read about it and I also have to see it in practice and then relate it to, all right, now I have this theory or this fundamental. How can I actually apply it in terms of making a website? So I have to see like everything all together.
So now you are able to create a website by your own.
Yes.
So how many projects you did?
Mm, for the Odin project so far, 5, I think. I've made 3 different versions of the website for my friend. Like as I learn, I'll like completely start from scratch and do it again. So I'm on my 3rd version of it now. Um, I've made 2 portfolios. One was just like a part of free code camp to get their responsive web design certification. You have to make a portfolio, so I made one just for that. And then I also started working on like my actual portfolio that I'll post eventually. I wish I need to dedicate more time to doing that. So, but I made a couple.
Okay, so functionalities, you put your own functionalities or
Yes, I do everything from scratch. So far, my goal is learning the fundamentals first. I know everybody's like learn a framework, you know, learn the library and all this, but I believe if you get the fundamentals down first, then learning a framework or library, it becomes so much easier. Rather than learning a framework and rushing, and then you're also still trying to learn JavaScript while you're doing it, it makes it so much harder. So
so what? How much you know about JavaScript?
right now, I'm into object-oriented programming, so I've gotten up to that point.
And you also mentioned you know C and other languages too.
I did that in college. I'm rusty on that. I still kept my textbooks though. But I am seeing some similarities between C++ and JavaScript. Like I find myself sometimes like when I'm writing a for loop, I want to put int, like the type of the variable, but you don't do that in JavaScript. So, but I feel like if I, took some time to give myself a refresher, I could make like a basic application with it.
Okay, it seems like you was a logical person even when you was a psychologist.
Yes. Yes.
I think that is why the reason it is very easy for you.
Maybe. Maybe. I believe people are good at multiple things. It's just your purpose may not align with doing all of them. It's just you may be good at something, but your heart is somewhere else. I think that's what happened to me.
So what is the difference that you are observing in human beings and in computer?
Um, Computers are pretty consistent. Like you know what to expect, you know what's going to happen. Like if you type in the wrong code, you're going to get an error. People though, um, one day they'll be up, one day they'll be down, one day they'll be happy, one day they'll be sad. Like you can't really predict because everyone's different. Everyone has good days, bad days, and so like you really can't like. It's hard to find your baseline with people, but with a computer, you already know it's either yes or no.
But human beings are trying to create computers which are like human beings
Hmm.
using AI, artificial intelligence.
Hmm. I think that's pretty fascinating.
I think you're the perfect person to for that position. You know about human beings and you know you are working on computers too.
Hmm. I never thought about it. Maybe so. Maybe so.
Yeah.
I haven't really pinpointed where my end goal is in tech. I'm like just learning as I go and just see like what I like. So far, I'm into the front end, so of course I like that. At first I was like, I never really want to get into the back end, but the more I learn, like things become more interesting. So and you never know where I'll end up.
So
I'm just here to
any
enjoy the ride.
okay. So any front end designs that you like in the in the internet?
What do you mean?
Front end designs. I mean the user interfaces of any website that you saw in the internet.
I like the more modern look, and I like some people who push the envelope because there's like design conventions like typography, white space, and all that. But I like when people kind of push the limits of that, just because I like art. So because you see so many websites that look pretty much the same, So I like when people kind of like try new things and just see how that is.
So at last, do you have anything to say to the people who wants to come into the front end development and uh, who wants to start the code?
I'd say if it's something that you really want to do it. Because for me, I know I'm the type of person I would much rather regret something that I did than something that I didn't do. And for years, I was in, um, I had my career, and like I guess what people do, they get stuck. Like I have a degree in this, so this is what I'm supposed to do for the rest of my life. But sometimes that's just not the case. And if you find yourself finding interest in something else, like do it. Just see what happens. Put yourself out there, um, test the waters, and see. If it doesn't work out, at least you tried it rather than not trying it and always wondering, well, what if I had tried? What if I had done this and never really know the answer? So
Amazing. So have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube and what do you say about it?
I think it's interesting to get like perspectives from people from all other parts of the world. I'm looking at your interviews when you first messaged me, and just to see like you have people from Norway, from U.S., just all over the place. And it's just interesting just to show people like there's other people out there that think like you, that are interested in the same things, you all over the place. So it's really cool.
So talking with different country people and who are into different professions, understanding what they think and what their experiences are, how it is going to be helpful for me in technology.
Um, I think, well, one, technology is a service of people. And so if you understand how people think, you can then translate that into what features does my um, technology need to have? Like, what services do I need to offer? And so I think it makes it easier to know, like, what to integrate. Just because, like, if I think like this, like, we're creatures of habit, we tend to want things fast, instant, convenient. So, of course, you want to make a technology that's fast, instant, and convenient to go along with stay in line with what people, generally gravitate towards too. So if you understand people, I think you're more likely to have a product that people will catch on to, people will like, people will prefer.
So I think you said what you're doing. I think it matches with what I'm doing.
Probably so. Probably so.
Yeah. So thank you again for giving me your valuable time and spending some few words of your collection.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
So can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Sure. Go ahead.
And also, can I put this video and audio clip on my social media, internet, podcast, website, everywhere with your permission?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah. Do you want me to put any links, web links of yours? People who finds our video on YouTube can see the work that you're doing. If you have a website or social media links.
Sure. I post my web dev journey videos on Instagram, artsycoder533, and my Twitter is also the same name, artsycoder533.
And I also have gone through your YouTube channel. You want
Oh
me to
yeah,
put
yeah,
that
yeah,
also?
yeah.
I will
Yes.
put that. So, what is the content that you put in on your YouTube channel?
It's really just so like I said, I was doing 100 days of code, and I just thought it would be more personal than just writing a tweet. I learned about X, I learned about Y, and I'm kind of wordy, so I would always run out of characters. So I was like, well, let me just put it on video, and it's kind of twofold. My goal is to become like more social, to put myself out there, because I tend to just kind of like stay in my shell a little bit. Um, so hopefully like making these videos kind of will help me accomplish that goal, public speaking, working on that. So, and you never know, I feel like in technology you see a lot of people who have already made it, but people who are just now learning, they don't really advertise their journey. So like you see the end goal, but you really never see like the work that comes into it. So I think it's important for everybody to see like, hey, I started here, but I made it over here, and like you
Yeah.
can see everything that happened in between. So that's what I wanted to accomplish.
So, you want to tell what you are doing in your daily life? It can be
Mm-hmm.
tech or non tech.
So far it's just a rendition of what I do, like what I've learned, what I worked on, projects I worked on, that kind of thing. It's just been about tech.
Okay. So, it will be, I'm sure my audience will be watching you and will listen to you. And definitely they will check your channels and they will see the work that you're doing.
All right, awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, Natasha. Keep going. Keep doing what you love.
No problem. Same to you.
Yeah. Bye.